Stop, stranger, stop. Don't pass me by. As you are now, so once was I. As I... Stop, stranger, stop. Don't pass me by. As you are now, so once was I. As I am now, soon you shall be. So pray, prepare, and follow me. This town that you are standing in right now, at the base of these stairs, has been called by many names. Every person that has called Port Townsend their home called it the City of Dreams. The captains, they called it the city that was built 5 miles from hell. And the sailors, they called it the most debaucherous city that they could visit on the West Coast. Why did it have so many different names, a reputation around the world as a place of death, debauchery, murder, crime, shanghaiing, prostitution, and mayhem? Because human greed played such a huge role in the founding of this fair town. How does greed go from something that can't be touched, that is only felt in the heart, to something physical that can take advantage of the sailors? Simply by building 22 brothels, 14 drinking establishments, 2 distilleries, and full-on production of opium. You combine those things together and what you get is pure mayhem. It was so bad on the streets of Port Townsend that we averaged a murder a week in 1889 in just the 8 square blocks of downtown Port Townsend. There were many that said that sin flourished at sea level in the stairs that you're standing at right now, separated heaven from hell. The Uptown was created exclusively for the purpose of pre-game show.
Hey everybody, it's Gussy Dupp. How you doing? I'm here for 420 Tarot, and obviously you are too, if you're here with me now. It is just a little bit after 420, but you know, 420-ish works for me. Please take a moment to share with a friend that you know might be interested in a free tarot card reading for the community today. Or just hit like down there. And Grim and I have a YouTube channel we'd love you to subscribe to if you get a chance. So blah, 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 all that stuff. You know the drill. This is like, you know what this reminds me of? When we all first started using cell phones, now some of you are way too young to remember that, but I'll bet you there's a fair amount of you that do remember. We started using cell phones and we had to set up our voicemail. And that thing, it didn't matter. I remember up until even just a few years ago, if you went with the default voicemail message, it rambled on forever, telling you how to do all the steps. And really, we already knew them like fairly quickly early on into the whole cell phone gig. But do y'all remember what I'm talking about? It's funny how things just sort of like evolve with us and change with us. And sometimes they're subtle changes and sometimes they're not so subtle changes, but changes nonetheless. Well, let me get my pitch stick lit here. And I'm going to light my trusty candle. You know, it's funny. Some people get a new candle for every event that I just let this go out. For every new spell they're working, or every, if it's a tarot card reading or whatnot. But I'm kind of old school. If I have a brand new candle for a specific event, like when we did Yuletide, we all had special candles that we lit. But this candle has been with me for about a year and a half now, and I have burned her. She started off quite tall, and she's been through many, many, many different tarot card readings. And I just love the energy of this candle. And when I forget to light it, which does happen because, truthfully, I'm a bit of a stoner and my memory isn't the greatest, but most of the time I light her. So we're doing that now. Is there something you want to tell me, Grim? Were you trying to tell me something over there?
When you light your punk stick, hold it so the flame travels.
I know, but I'm just yapping.
I know.
Okay.
That's why I was going to keep my mouth shut.
Oh, okay. Keep your mouth shut, Grim.
I'm sorry.
Anyways,
don't respond to my hand signals. Then.
Well, you distract me. You're right. He's right there. Like, you guys are there, and he's right there. So it's hard not to see him going, or. Those are all the Grim hand signals. And, on this one too. I just got that one. Thank you, Grim. Anyways, let's get focused for today. My cards are really just, if I could say they're hot today. It feels like it has been a really, some days are just energetically, they just kind of flow and things just kind of go. This has been one of those days. Although I do find on those days that I get up in the morning and the next thing I know, it's bedtime. It's like I'm in this whirlwind of just activity and then bam. So the cards are hot today. They've been working with me really well. I just cleansed them and charged them. I have a piece of petrified wood from Karen Kay, who's one of our Purple Door witches, who gifted this to Grim and I in the coven a while ago. It's a wonderful piece of petrified wood. And I also wanted to show you, I was so silly yesterday. I had a Purple Door witch here with me. Yes, here live with me. She came for a visit and we talked for several hours, and the whole time we went right through 420 Tarot. Didn't even dawn on me that it was 420 Tarot because I was very engrossed in the conversation. And I really feel bad that I didn't get a picture of her or to have her sit with me during 420 Tarot, because I would have loved to have introduced you to her. Can I show that gift that she gave us? It's right there underneath the paper. There's two. So people stop by. They often bring me little trinkets, and Jennifer brought me this. It's a piece of just driftwood. We find this a lot. Of course, we live in the Pacific Northwest. but this has been a really special piece to her that she's kept on her own altar. And she likes that it looks like a little hand, and she gifted that to me. I am imagining this. I like to use these for incense. And once they get enough wax on them, you don't have to worry so much about them. Well, that's neither here nor there, but I like to use them in my magical workings. And then she also gifted a hagstone. And tip it
Perfect.
like that.
Yep.
A hagstone. So if you were here with me right now, I could look through this little hole and see you. And she wanted this to be hung in the bus as part of our. We're of course going to do protections on the bus, and this is going to be part of that. So beautiful hagstone. If you don't know about hagstones, well, it's a really interesting thing to know about. So be a Google witch and Google hagstones, and hey, take it a step further and write a post about it on the Purple Door. We'd love to know more. But we have a couple of these around here, and we've used them for various purposes. Yeah, go research hagstone. And of course, don't stop at the first description. Read a couple of them. Don't just read one. Read a few and see what resonates with you. And if you want a hagstone, let me know, because I have a few. All right, let's do our card pull for the day. What is the day? Did I change the date?
Yes, we did.
Is it the 24th of April? Okay, perfect. 2 days.
Unless I got it wrong.
2 days after Earth Day, and 4 days after 420 Day, and just 48 hours before the pink supermoon on Monday. So man, there's been a lot of things going on, from solar flares to other kinds of like cosmological, is that a word, incidents that have been affecting you. So excuse me, I should say, I don't know if they have been affecting you, but I'll bet they have, because they've been affecting me and a lot of the people around me. Remember when full moon energy comes into the Earth space here, it has its own vibrational frequency too. Full moon energy affects us. And Grim and I are going to talk about that in another 7-ish discussion sometime about full moon energy. And maybe we'll do it over the next couple of days. That would be great, because we do have a super moon, right? But anywho, that can affect you. So, and it can make you feel a little bit wonky, like you're not quite sure which end is up, or you're not quite sure which way you're going. It feels like you're kind of scattered. That is fairly typical, especially if you're empathic, of feeling kind of foot in both worlds. Plus, you know, I probably shouldn't say this because I'll get locked up in Facebook jail or something, but we here around the Covenstead have noticed a bit of timey-wiminess going on. Like, ironically, just a couple of days ago, I supposedly posted a few events, and I made them look like you could sign up for them, but they were actually from a year ago, and I actually didn't post those events. So making sure that our space is clear, making sure that we are centered and grounded ourselves, that we are present in this time, in this space. You can hear my voice. You can hear the sounds of the technology around you, the gentle hum. You might hear the refrigerator or a fan. You may hear one of your beloved fur babies making a noise in the background, or your phone making a noise. There's all kinds of senses just triggered, even in the quiet. Take a moment to breathe. Remember that you have the power within yourself to both calm and excite yourself, I know it might seem sometimes like you don't have control of that. Sometimes it feels that, and when I say excite, of course I'm keep it, keep it clean. I'm not talking like that. I'm talking about finding that motivation on the inside, um, to even sometimes get out of bed. I know that some days that's really, really hard. Not just because you work hard. Um, and by work hard, I know some of you are doing the 9 to 5 grind. Hats off to you, because that takes a lot of effort. I know it does, because I know a lot of you are unhappy right now. I know a lot of you are unhappy, and with your jobs, that is, jobs, unsatisfied, let's say it that way. It's just, it's a job and you bring home a paycheck, but I know that some of you feel that there's more to it. Others of you have found that place in your heart where you're doing your job, and because you're giving to others, you feel that sense of service. So you feel as if it is fulfilling to you. You do get an intrinsic reward from that yourself. But I'll bet even there is a bit of a nagging yearning in the back of your mind somewhere, that there is something more to all of this than what you're experiencing. There's something more that is just beyond your grasp. And it's like once in a while you'll have these moments of clarity and bliss, and you'll go, oh my gosh, I really finally feel like I'm getting it, like it's starting to come together. And then like a glazed donut, right? It just sort of starts to break down after 1 or 2 days. I I know exactly where you're coming from with that, because that is not untypical. And it's not untypical of a person in your shoes who is working with the energies. Some of these energies you've known since you were a child, and some of these energies are brand new. The veil is thinner than it has been, and yes, I mean that it has been. Um, I know it thins cyclically every year around Samhain, and then again, um, uh, okay, they don't need to know that, I'm told. They don't need to know that. They need me to get to the card, because I have a few people today. I can feel that there is some like heavy releasing going on. Um, it feels like there has been a few days of uncertainty as far as where your energy is. It's kind of felt all over the place, like we talked about before. So even now, as I was talking about the moon a few minutes ago, and the full moon impact on our energy, I know that you were sitting there saying, but I feel better today, so it must not be the moon. Well, I do feel that there has been some kind of, oops, sorry about that. The dog just moved the camera, I believe. She just laid down. Um, or it was a mini earthquake. I don't know.
We'll go with dog.
We'll go with dog, knock on wood. But there has been a shift in the energies. The full moon may still be affecting us, but um, the Schumann resonances were again off the charts a few days ago. That affects us. I mean, these are all scientifically driven and provable facts. So um, allow yourself to know that you are not alone with these wonky shifts. I know that you struggle with depression, and I know that you wonder sometimes if maybe you should up your dosage of medicine, or like, switch doctors or switch medicines altogether, or gosh, maybe it's time to try to quit again. Maybe I should stop. But I think that what I want to remind you is that in those moments, you just need to stop and breathe and remind yourself that everything's okay, that everything is going as it should at that moment. And as long as you're in a safe spot right at that second, you're good. Take another deep breath and just let this feeling pass. There's so much anxiety out there right now. It's all wrapped up in this uncertainty. It's all wrapped up with, we hear about COVID cases surging again. We hear about our government kind of imploding, and yet, it's sort of back and forth. First, we feel like we're going in the right direction, and then we hear from another media source that we're not, and then we're back and forth. And there's no way to really know what's going on unless we could honestly talk to one person we trust in all 23 time zones or something. But other than that, I think that we just have to really, really trust our own intuition. And I say that a lot to you guys. I haven't even turned this card over yet, but I feel really drawn to just tell you that the shifts you're feeling, the strangeness, it's not unfamiliar to many, many people. So don't feel alone. At the same time, and I'll bet you that's what this card is about. I'm feeling it is. At the same time, now I can just not show you the card and I'll just fib. I won't do that to you. I wouldn't. I would never. I'm a Fey hybrid. I cannot tell a lie. But anyways, I lost what I was going to say. I guess I wasn't supposed to say it. Let's turn the card over. It's actually not the card I thought it was going to be. It's the King of Cups. Let me hold that one up for you. Do I have it in the right spot there, Grim?
You good?
Okay. King of Cups. Again, this is from the Tarot Apocalypsis deck that I have used for a long time. The way that I read cards, I intuit the images on the card. Threw away. Well, I have the book, but I only use that on special occasions when I just want to read a little more in depth about some of the symbology on the card. But let me see what it says here for us, and hopefully it will re-spark my memory. I'm asking for, as always, the guidance from the divine God, goddess energy, our spirit guides, our beloved ancestors, our Fey ancestors, because a lot of you are Fey, and you know it, and also our animal allies, crystal allies, plant allies, and it's springtime here where I live, so the green is just blooming and gorgeous, and another job well done, nature. May those energies be present here to help guide us in our next best step. May the words that need to be spoken be spoken. May I hear them clearly. May I interpret them clearly with insight and wisdom to share. And whoever needs to hear the words, may they hear them clearly as well. And as always, if there are questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Okay. Gosh, I really, really, really wanted to tell you whatever it was that I forgot before I picked up this card. This card has a different message than that, so I was wrong about what I was about to say, and I thought the card would be something near that. But let me tell you what the card says, and maybe that will strike my memory, because obviously we're here for the card. Okay. If you can think of all of your ideas as little blossoms around your feet, I want you to think for a minute. When I'm talking about ideas, I mean ideas about what you want to do when you grow up, what you want to do with the rest of your life, what you want to do as a hobby or with your career or whatever your ideas have been. Those dreams that you've kind of kept stuffed away a little bit because the time hasn't been right. I want you to look down now at your feet and just imagine all of those ideas are flowers. And I want you to let me know, do you see a lot of flowers at your feet? Do you see just a few flowers at your feet? Do you see one big flower and a bunch of little flowers? Do you see a field of flowers? Do you see specific kinds of flowers like dandelions? Do they blow in the wind? Do you see little Johnny jump ups? What is it that you're looking at as you look down at your feet? All of those ideas around you are the foundation of what you are about to manifest next. All of those ideas, all of those dreams of what you wanted your life to be, what you wanted to be when you grew up, what you wanted your hair to look like, what kind of a lifestyle you thought you would live. All of those ideas that you've had through the years have kind of ended up here under your feet right now. Those are the basis for your manifesting. Which one of those flowers are the ones that draw your attention the most? Take a look down, and just like I do with these cards, when one kind of flashes a little different or feels like it has a different energy pull to it for you, take a moment to observe that flower. I wouldn't suggest picking it. It needs to grow. And unless you definitely need to take that flower with you for a really solid reason, Mother Nature put her there, let her grow. But this is a time to really, really focus. Like I said, some of you might already have a big flower. If your big flower is really there and you're sure of it, go for it. But if you've had this big flower there for a really long time and you've not taken it any further than this, then you might want to look around at some of the other flowers around you and see maybe some of those have bloomed brighter or bigger and you had no time to notice because you were looking at this other flower. Does that make sense to what I'm saying? I think it probably does. Anyways, I guess my overall message, and I've had a couple here today, is when it comes to manifesting, don't be satisfied with just how things are right now. Please remember that your dreams are important and valid. You may be compromising them a lot because of your current situation or because you feel it's necessary to do so, and it probably is. I'm not judging you that way. No, never. But I am suggesting that it is very essential that you look for things that do feed your soul, that do make your heart sing, that do make you ready to get up for another day, ready to take on the day again, ready to look forward to what you're doing. We can get there. Stay magical, everybody. Thanks for joining me at 420, and I hope to see you. I wish I could